So, what really makes a ghost story stick with you? Today, we're going to break down the anatomy of pure horror, using a classic chilling tale from the Indian subcontinent. It's all about a school, a wicked storm, and one very, very bad decision. Let's get into it.
Right off the bat, the story wastes zero time. I mean, it just throws us right in with this warning from one of our main guys, Mangal Chacha. It's the perfect hook, you know? It's clear, it's ominous, and it establishes the danger before we've even taken a single step into that forest. The threat is real from the very first line.
Okay, so this brings us to part one, the setup. Every great horror story lays its groundwork right here. We meet the characters, we see the conflict brewing between them, and we get a sense of the dangerous world they're about to wander into.
And here we have it, the classic horror duo, the believer and the skeptic. You got Mangal Chacha on one side, the wise one who knows you should respect the local stories, and then there's Ramu, young and arrogant, laughing it all off as old wives' tales. This clash, right here, is the engine that's going to drive them straight into trouble.
And then, bam, the inciting incident hits. It's not a person, it's nature itself. This storm is so bad it basically strips away all their choices. It traps them. And suddenly, this impossible building, a school where no school should be, isn't just a curiosity. It's their only chance to survive the night.
So now we're moving into the rising action. This is where the story starts to expertly layer in all these little clues and unsettling moments. It's all designed to build that slow, creeping feeling of dread, that sense that something is just deeply, profoundly wrong here. Okay, the first huge red flag is the school itself. I mean, come on, a teacher and a class full of kids, late at night, during a massive storm, in the middle of a forest that everyone knows is empty, it makes absolutely no sense. But while Mangal Chacha is getting more and more suspicious, our skeptic Ramu is just bragging to the kids about how brave he is. He's totally oblivious.
And this line is just brilliant foreshadowing. On the surface, the teacher's welcome sounds so kind, so hospitable. But when you hear it again, knowing what's coming, you realize it has this deeply sinister double meaning. It's a promise, and not a good one.
So now the horror is literally being spelled out for them, but it's disguised as just another local ghost story. The teacher is basically telling them his own tragedy, framing it as a legend to see how they'll react. And to Ramu, it's just a spooky campfire tale. He has no idea he's listening to a confession.
And now, the climax. What's so amazing here is that it's not a monster jumping out or some big violent attack. No, the climax is just a slow, horrifying reveal of information. A revelation that completely shatters reality for our characters.
The storm's over, the sun is out, and they made it through the night. As they walk into a nearby village, you can feel that false sense of relief. It was a weird night, sure, but they survived. That feeling of unease, though, it's still there, right under the surface. And then, boom. There it is, the knockout punch, delivered so casually by a tea stall owner. With just that one sentence, everything that happened the night before is twisted into something monstrous. They weren't guests in a strange school. They were trespassers in a tomb. They spent the night with ghosts.
Okay, so we're in the falling action. And if you think the horror is over now that they know the truth, oh, you are so wrong. In fact, it's just getting started. The supernatural isn't a question anymore. It's a fact. And now they have to face the consequences.
Just to make sure there's absolutely no doubt left, the story brings in a voice of authority, the village headman, the Sarpanch. He doesn't just confirm what they heard at the tea stall, he validates it, and he prepares to tell them the tragic story behind it all.
And the Sarpanch gives them the whole grim backstory. This is so crucial because it gives the ghosts a motive. They aren't just some evil force. They're the spirits of children, trapped forever by this horrific event. Their haunting comes from a place of tragedy and profound loneliness. They're just looking for company.
And here's the kicker. This is where it all turns. Their little visit had consequences. By spending the night in that school, they didn't just witness a ghost story. They became part of it. They've been marked, and now there's a final test they have to pass.
All right, here we are at the very end. The story has meticulously built the tension. It's dropped the chilling truth, and now it has to deliver on the dark promise of that curse. This is where their fate is finally sealed.
They get that one last glimmer of hope, right? The Sarpanch offers them a safe house, a sanctuary.
But this is classic horror. It's that false sense of security, because we, the audience, we know mere walls aren't going to stop what's coming for them.
And then they hear it, the voice of a child echoing in a room that should be empty. It confirms their absolute worst fear. The ghosts have followed them. The haunting isn't tied to the school anymore. Now it's tied to them. There's nowhere left to run.
You can hear the desperation in their voices. They're pleading, saying it was all a mistake, that they didn't mean any harm. But in the cold, sad logic of this curse, their intentions don't matter. They crossed a line, and now they have to join the class, forever.
The story closes not with a scream, but with the quiet, chilling news of their disappearance. They're just gone. Their fate is now woven into the local legend, becoming another verse in the ghost story of the school, In the Rain. A new warning for the next traveler who thinks they know better.
And that's what it leaves us with in the end, right? A question. Who was the real monster here? The tragic spirits trapped in that school, or the human foolishness that made one man ignore every single warning that could have saved his life? It makes you think, maybe the scariest ghost of all is just our own pride.